This pull-out kitchen sprayer is leaking right here. The water is spraying all over the place. The hose is showing its age and it's starting to actually come apart. And someone has come in here with some electrical tape to try to patch things up temporarily. But see, the thing with these is the way this whole faucet is set up. When you hit the spray, the water is completely supposed to stop coming out of the tap and go 100% to the sprayer, and then when you let go back 100% to the nozzle and nothing coming out of here, there's a little valve in there called a diverter that takes care of that. But when it's leaking like this, the diverter is always going to be cocked open a little bit, so you're always going to have a leak out of this thing. It's very sloppy. If this had been put in place, you would have had a big puddle under the sink, possibly warping the bottom of your cabinet, causing damage. So they've been leaving it hanging in the sink, but then the water just shoots right up in your face as soon as you turn it on. So it's a small hole, but a big issue. All the other Handyman videos, they're going to edit the screw-ups out. I leave the screw-ups in to show you guys that you can have the confidence to tackle any job if you just can think around and get your head around the problems. Hi users, today we're going to be replacing a pull-out kitchen sink sprayer. The old classic kind, although the skills we're going to use for this you could really use on even the new designer faucets. So pay attention, it's a quick video. Just real quick, this is a side cutout view of a kitchen sink with the countertop, okay? So here's the cabinet underneath, all right? And you're gonna have your trap drains and you're gonna have pipes going up to the faucet. There's a lot going on down there. Here's your faucet up in the top and the sprayer sits on the side of it. We're gonna be going underneath is the target area. And underneath the faucet, there's going to be a little, what they call a brass nipple, and that is basically where your, where the hose for the pull-out sprayer is going to attach with this little brass nut. Tools we're going to be using for this job is dikes, also known as the nippers. We're going to be using a small channel lock plier, maybe, and we're definitely going to be using two small adjustable wrenches. In this case, a 4-inch and a 6-inch adjustable wrench. We're also going to have a replacement pull-out kitchen spray hose with nozzle. In this case, of course, black. There's a little brass nipple that this little brass nut sticks to. And for this project, you're going to need 2 wrenches, all right? Because you're going to have to double wrench it. So basically, one wrench is going to go on this nut on the brass hose, and the second wrench is going to go on that brass nipple, because if you just twist the nut, the one nut on the hose, there's a chance you may twist and spin that nipple and break it off. So you want to hold that steady with one wrench while you loosen up the nut for the hose with the second wrench. You also may be able to get away with holding the nipple with something like a small channel lock, and then use the one wrench for the nut on the end of the hose, okay? I like to nip my hose off with the nippers, just because a lot of times this gets all rusty and corroded and it's really tough to unscrew the whole hose 4 or 5 times to get it off the nipple. But if I can cut the old hose with the nippers, also called dikes, but it's not a politically correct term any longer. So if I nip it with the dikes, then I can just unscrew it, and I don't have to worry about it being frozen and corroded. Couple of little points to go along with this. When you first install the new hose, and these are available in plumbing supplies and online, you would search pull-out kitchen sprayer. They come black, chrome, white, you know. The hose is very twisty and curly when it's new. After you install it, you run the hot water through it for a minute or 2 while you're rinsing off some dishes, and the hot water will really relax these curls, and the hose will get a natural shape. Another point, you want to make sure when you install this thing that you're not twisting this around pipes or getting it tangled up in anything. You want to be able to pull it out of the sink without it getting stuck on any drains or supply lines or instant hot water or the garbage disposal, whatever may be under the sink. So that's a couple of little notes. Now let's get up under the sink and I'll see if I can get you a camera shot actually up inside there as we nip the old tube and unscrew that nut. Unscrew that nut with the double wrench technique. Then we're going to pull the old one out of the sink, and then we're going to stick the new one from the top through the hole in the top of the sink. We're going to get back into that same nipple. We're going to try to hand tighten this as much as we can, careful not to cross thread it. And then when we get it as hard, as tight as we can by hand, we're going to go back to the double wrench technique. Again, one wrench on the brass nipple and the second wrench on the nut on the hose, and give it like 3/4 to 1 turn tighter. You should be good to go. Then, like I say, run the hot water, do a couple of minutes spraying with the hot water, and it'll relax the new hose, come into a nice natural shape, and then you have years and years to enjoy your replacement pull-out kitchen spray hose. Now, my fellow users, the hardest part of this job is getting to things. Number one, we have to get it under the sink, so we got to clean all of this stuff out of there. Then we have to get up underneath behind the sink to where the little nipple is that the stupid hose attaches to. The hardest part in this job is getting to stuff. So we got to clear all of this out, and then we're going to crawl in there and stick our nose up behind the sink and the pipes. And I'm going to bring along with me one rag. See my video entitled Rags, Recycling, on how to make old t-shirts into excellent rags. So I'm about ready to go. The one thing I'm going to do before I go under there is I'm going to take my dikes and I'm going to go up topside, and I'm actually going to nip the hose up by the handle, the old pull-out hose, and then I'm going to stick the new one right down in there. And the reason I'm doing that is because I don't want to like be crawling in and out of here. I want to go in there one time, take the old one off, put the new one on, and then come out, and that's it. I don't want to like go in there, take the old one out, and then come in the top and pull it out, and then stick the new one in, and then go. I have total confidence that I'm going to do this job in one shot. So I'm coming topside, and we're going to nip this. Baby right here. Then when I'm underneath, I'm also going to nip it short right by the nipple, like I was telling you, so I can unscrew it because the old nut's probably frozen up. And then before I go underneath. We're gonna stick this new one. We're gonna stick the new one right down in, right down there, so it's easy reach for us when we're ready for it. So I'm gonna stick the camera back a little bit so don't kick it over. And I'm gonna let it run. Taking my glasses off, taking the phone out of my pocket, and here we go, YouTube. Here goes the Handyman. Okay. Getting too old for this bullshit. Alright, so that's the plan. Here I am, and let's get this done. Well, it's not the best camera angle, but it is a camera angle. Okay, now we're nipping that tube like I told you, with the good old dikes. Yeah, too close to the camera. Now we're gonna get ready with our pre-positioned tools down here. Okay, we're gonna put the 6-incher on the faucet nub. Once we get it a little bit loose, we can usually sneak in there with our fingers and finish it off. Okay. And there it is. And oh, that's a motherfucker. Okay. All right. Follow along, YouTube. So there's two kinds of connections that you'll find on the hidden end of these pull-out spray hoses. The one kind of connection is this one, that it's a female and it threads onto the male that's on the faucet. This is very popular, and you find it in like 99.9% of kitchen faucets with a pull-out. And this is called a 442. Then you have the other kind, which is called the you just fucked yourself over kind, and it's a male, and it's very rare, and you hardly ever see it, and I don't carry it with me. So now that I fucking clipped the lady's pull-out sprayer hose, which means she can't use a fucking kitchen faucet until I find the right pull-out sprayer hose, which I'll probably have to get on, I'll probably have to Google search it. It's going to take 3 to 5 days shipping to get it. We got a workaround for that, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut the end off of this one, because it's basically useless in this application. And I have a short length of 3/8 inch copper tubing. We're gonna stick it in here, although this side is a tight fit, so we may indeed heat this up with like a either a heat gun or a Bic. But I'll show you on this end, because this is a little older and it's a little looser. Basically, we're gonna stick the copper pipe in here. We're gonna put a hose clamp on here and tighten this up. Then we're going to go upstairs. We're going to stick this through the sink. We're going to go under the sink and thread this in. We're going to put a little Teflon tape on it. We're going to thread it in nice and tight. Then we're going to stick our other end on with another hose clamp. We're going to tighten everything up, and the job's going to be done. This is going to be hidden way up under the sink. No one's ever going to see it. This end of the tube has no wear and tear on it. It's the other end with the spray head that gets all worn out and stuff. So it's going to last just as long as any original one-piece hose repair. So that's our workaround, and that's how we're going to do it. Additional tools and supplies is the short length of 3/8 copper pipe, 2 hose clamps, okay, 2 hose clamps, a little Teflon tape, and a screwdriver so that we could tighten up the hose clamps. That's going to be a workaround. So I'm going to do my prep down here with the 1 hose clamp, and then we're going to go upstairs and like I said, we're going to go up under the sink and take care of hooking this up under the sink. Fucking pain in the ass new screwdriver. What the hell? Where the hell are the standard bits? Alright, so like I say, YouTube, most, of these other handyman channels, they're going to edit these fuck-ups out. But I stick with you through the whole thing, so I show you how to take care of problems when they pop up in your house, and not to be scared to tackle jobs like this. Alright, we're making this snug. We're not making it retarded tight, but we're making it snug. And we're going to put a little Teflon tape on the threads. And the trick with this Teflon tape stuff is we have to screw this in. So we're going to be twisting it this way. We want to put the tape on so the end of the tape goes with the twist, not against it. Or else when you go to screw it in, the Teflon tape all balls up and it doesn't go in the hole. So now when we screw this in, the Teflon tape's going to stay on the threads and it's going to go in nice. So this piece is basically ready. We're going to no, we're not going to put this hose clamp on yet, because we actually have to thread this through the sink first, screw this in, then hook this together with the hose clamp. So we're ready to go. It took about 3 minutes for the workaround on the fucking wrong end on the pull-out spray hose, which this one you see all the time, very, very popular. Carry a couple of them with me in a truck. This one you never see, but of course, on the job that I'm going to make my YouTube video, it has to pop up. But in a way, it's good because I show you guys the workaround. So quietly, so the customer doesn't see what we're doing, we're going to stick this down in the sink, okay? Right down in the pull-out hole. So it's like pre-staged for us. Then we're staging our screwdriver. We're going to go underneath with our Teflon. Here she comes. Now we're going to throw this out. Okay. Hi. There's a tight squeeze under this sink. I gotta fit. I can't even bring my glasses. I gotta leave my camera. I'm gonna on my phone, or I'm gonna break it. Alright, YouTube, here's the old the connection that we just did with the Teflon tape. Here's the length of old hose and our coffin tube. Here's our new pull-out spray. I got to do this with two hands, and I'm going to put it down to do it, but there's our new pull-out spray hose. What we're going to do is put the clamp on it, okay? Going to put the clamp on it, and then we're going to push it as far up this copper tube as we can, and we're going to tighten it up. I don't know if I can get your camera angle on it, because I'm like under this freaking sink here, but we're going to try. Okay, I just want to make sure it's not twisted and it's not around any pipes, or like if it was like this or something, like stuck around a pipe or something, all right? So it's not, it's hanging nice and free, okay? We're going to go back up topside. All right, we're back up topside. Here's our pull-out sprayer. Okay, we're going to run the hot water. And we're going to check underneath for leaks, which I would be able to see because it would be puddling on that cardboard, which it's not. So just to check, I'm putting a fresh cardboard under there. Okay, that's good. Underneath is good. I had total confidence in that. What we're going to do is run the water till it's hot, because that'll help get the kink or the twist out of the spray tube, so it's nice and relaxed for the lady. And this one actually has a very nice pattern, and we want to check that when we hit the spray, indeed the faucet more or less like 99% stops, and when we release, there's no dribble out of here. Okay, so that's how you check a pull-out spray. And if that was bad, if you hit this and still a lot of water came out of it, there's a little valve in here called a diverter, which I plan to do in the near future, a video on how to rebuild a single-handle Delta faucet and do the diverter valve at the same time. So this is the hot, steamy water. I'm just running it through the sprayer to relax the tubing. And that's it. That's it, my fellow YouTube users. Thanks for watching. I hope I helped you out. If you got any comments or if I helped you in any way, feel free to post a response video or hit me up in the comment box below. We really like that stuff. And thanks, or at least a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like it. But again, let me just tell you, all the other Handyman videos, they're going to edit the screw-ups out. I leave the screw-ups in to show you guys that you can have the confidence to tackle any job if you just like can think around and get your head around the problems and get your workaround going. So there we go. Spray out, pull spray out, done with a big major problem in the fact that the connectors were wrong. Done.